There's a moment in Disney's blockbuster movie Encanto when the family's magical house begins to crack. At first, no one notices. A tile shifts, a wall trembles, a quiet shudder runs through the foundation. It's not one catastrophic event. It's the sustained weight of silence, unspoken fears, unmet needs, and isolation. That magical house represented a family that was crumbling long before the house ever did, because no one said, "I'm not okay. This is too much. I need help." In the fall of 2022, I was starting to feel some of those same cracks in my own life, and I bet a lot of you have too. At that time, I was the president of a growing technology company. I was also the mother of a 6-year-old boy. Each day after school, he'd come home glued to a screen, or perhaps worse, begging for my attention because for the second year in a row, our public school district had denied our family after-school care. His day ended at 2 p.m. My meetings ended never. I didn't have any grandparents nearby to tap into, and I had spent so much time heads down in work for the last decade that I had failed to build a chosen community around our family. Deep down, I knew I was coming up short in both areas. As the leader my company needed, and as the mom my son deserved. And I certainly wasn't taking care of myself. Eventually, I stopped pretending that I could do it all. I resigned from motherhood. Just kidding. But the moment after I woke up, having walked away from a job I'd spent 10 years trying to get, I was determined to figure out how many other families in my small town were dealing with the same issue. Were we one of 10 or 20? I went on Facebook into my local moms group and typed, "Who else needs after-school care?" By nightfall, I had 75 responses. Parents, mostly mothers, saying things like, "I feel like I'm drowning. This is too much. I thought I was the only one." Turns out, there were hundreds of us. So that December, Parents for After School Solutions, a grassroots movement, was formed by 10 determined parents. We did Zoom calls after putting our kids to bed, made our own parent database, wrote many a campaign letter, and even became a political lightning rod for our town's next election cycle. I will tell you, the things that you never ever think could become political somehow always do. But 7 months later, we had done it. We had knit together 2 new after-school care programs for our town, one through the local YMCA and one through our recreation department. That felt so good, right? I can go back to work now. But something felt different. I felt lighter, calmer, happier. I wasn't quite sure what it was, actually, and so I wondered, those 600 parents that we had just helped, did they feel it too? So I went back and asked them, how have these programs impacted your life? Here's what they told us. 34% now had a plan to exercise 3 times a week. 42% now had a plan to take mental health breaks every day. And 91% felt happier around their kids. And it was at this moment that I realized this wasn't just a childcare crisis. This was a parent self-care crisis hiding in plain sight. And it happened because we had been living fragmented lives, caring too much, asking for too little, and really just giving up on our relationships, all to just get through the day-to-day grind. That same fall, the Surgeon General released an emergency advisory about the mental health of parents. Parents are failing to thrive. The culprit? Loneliness. That same fall, a study came out showing that 66% of parents felt that parenting had left them lonely and isolated, and that 79% were actually looking for a way to connect with others outside the home. The institutions in the United States are not set up to support parents. When they show signs of breaking, we shame them into holding it together. Look around, everyone else seems to have things under control. Why don't you? If a bridge shows signs of collapse, we shut it down and fix it. But if a parent breaks down, we hand them a sign-up form for PTO. Let me say this clearly. Parents are the infrastructure no one is maintaining. And when parents break, so do their relationships with their children, with their spouses, with their friends, even their productivity breaks. In fact, over $400 billion a year are lost in the US due to loneliness. And yes, their communities break too, just like mine did. Maybe like yours did too. But from this global cloud of disconnection, a new type of health has been uncovered: social health. For the first time in history, science can draw a cause and effect line between your social decisions today and your physical well-being tomorrow. Whether or not you get dementia, get Alzheimer's disease, or even a cold next week can be determined by whether or not you decide to scrape yourself off the couch and head to that book club or baseball game. And it turns out most adults are really lonely. In fact, 1 in 4 adults report being lonely every day. Even 20% of adults report feeling like they don't have anyone to reach out to for support. That means 1 out of every 5 adults you run into don't truly feel connected to anyone at all. So what is social health? Social health is the third pillar of health, sitting next to mental health and physical health in our house of longevity. And it's made up of 3 different things: our one-on-one connections, the communities we engage with regularly, and our daily micro interactions, often with people we see frequently but don't know well. It turns out that in-person interactions have powerful, wide-ranging effects, everything from boosting your mood, decreasing your anxiety, giving you more self-confidence, and just giving you more energy. And here's the wildest part of all. When you focus on this pillar of health, you're not only making yourself healthier, you're making everyone you interact with healthier too. The key to unlocking social health is through a formula scientists call 5-3-1. 5. Interact with 5 different people each week. This can be anyone from your spouse to the mailman. The key is just to mix it up. Next, interact with 3 different people to strengthen a close relationship each week. This is really important. Who are the people that mean the most to you? How can you be sure to invest time in them every single week? And last, 1 hour of sustained interaction per day. I know that might seem like a lot, but when you remember that the average American spends about 4 hours a day scrolling on their phone, I wonder, can we take 1 hour and turn it towards someone we love? I think we can. So we've learned that social health is not a nice to have. It's as important as nutrition, sleep, and exercise. And what happened to me and my community in 2022 wasn't local. Loneliness is a global phenomenon, and we cannot survive in the modern world without the supportive bonds of each other. Since then, I've completely recalculated how I spend my time. I co-founded a company to help parents build deeper relationships in real life. I now serve on my town's economic development committee. I sit on the executive board of a nonprofit that helps neighbors become more neighborly. And most recently, I co-founded a community to help entrepreneurs build companies in a community, so no founder ever has to build alone again. And I've done all this because I know that when parents are supported, their children thrive. When families are healthy, neighborhoods stabilize. And when neighborhoods are strong, they don't build communities that just survive challenge. They rise through it. So I'll leave you with this. What if the most important decision we made today was not what we ate or how many steps we took, but instead who we talked to? Whether or not we waved at a neighbor or spent time with a friend. Today, I challenge everyone in this room, including myself, Go in your phone and make plans with a friend next week. Tomorrow, find one way to connect yourself with your local community. It can be as simple as just signing up for your town newsletter. And last, each day as we move forward and we look at our daily to-do list, let's leave a permanent checkbox at the top for social connection. Because it's not just the cracks in the walls we need to fix, it's the cracks in our relationships. And if we can do that, we don't just repair the present, we build a new future. Thank you.